Oncology team is using the device initially for prostate and brain cancer therapy, though future applications will include moving targets in the abdomen, such as tumors in the pancreas, liver, and lungs. That's a look at local news this hour. For the newsroom, I'm Bob Fisher reporting.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. Mainly clear skies and quiet this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 86. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 59. Tonight, clear skies. Mainly sunny. Tomorrow, high of 83. Low 80s, Friday and Saturday, with a chance for scattered storms Saturday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 85.
Ride the bus with the Dart and Midas Transit.
Need to get somewhere in Hamilton, Pocahontas, Calhoun, or Humboldt County this summer? Midas will take you there. Live in Manson and need a ride to the grocery store? Midas will take you there. Live in Webster City and need a ride to the theater? Midas will take you there. Live in Rockwell City and need to get to the clinic? Midas will take you there. Call 800 Bus Ride. Midas, helping you get where you want to go. Your connection to Jefferson Lines.
The co-chairman of JP Morgan warned that a deep correction, like 40%, could hit the stock market at any time. Don't lose 40%. Diversify. Now you can add gold or silver to your IRA or 401k rollover accounts. The stock market has been shaky with the trade negotiations. Don't risk your investments. Listen to the warnings and diversify before you lose 40%. Protect your portfolio with solid and tangible investments, gold and silver. Call 800-722-2020 and get the free investment guide now. Call 800-722-2020 to get Noble Gold Investments free investment guide now, or go to noblegoldinvestment.com. Individual results may vary. Invest wisely. Don't wait for a 40% correction. Get the free investment guide now. Call 800-722-2020. That's 800-722-2020. Call and get the free investment guide now. Don't wait. Call now. 800-722-2020.
Michael Devine, the Doctor of Truth.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to confess?
That AM 1400 KVFD.
Has anyone got anything they'd like to confess? Well, we have a recovered Lutheran here. Sent his kids to St. Edmunds, so I suppose, yeah, he's got a lot to confess. Dr. Terry Menke, bless you, my son. Go ahead. What is your confession?
Thank you. Actually, I'm a Methodist. My
Are you a Methodist?
My wife's a Lutheran. She led me down.
That's even worse.
Yep.
All right, let's start with that. Methodist. Whoa.
Yeah, well, actually, we did come from a strong Catholic family until my great-grandmother had the gall to marry a Protestant and got
That's
kicked
serious gall, buddy.
Got kicked out of the church.
Got kicked out of the
family. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
My grandmother was a German Mennonite, married a Catholic, and started going to Mass.
Yeah.
The Mennonites freaked out for years. I don't think her family didn't speak to her.
Yeah, well, we lost.
Those were back in the days.
We lost the farm in Minnesota because of that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No, you couldn't be a Methodist and have the farm.
No.
Okay, so we have another guest besides the estimable Dr. Menke, and you look familiar to me because you look like your father. And your name is what, please?
Jessica Moffat.
Jessica Moffat, give me the whole thing, the hyphenated name there.
So Jessica Leffler.
Merle Leffler's daughter. Yes, we miss your dad over at the Board of Supervisors. Certainly, haven't seen much of him. I hope he's doing well.
He is. We're keeping him busy.
You're keeping him busy. What do you got him doing?
Well, we're remodeling a house for me, and then my sister has her two little boys, and
really
he spends quite a bit of time with his grandsons. So.
Okay, all right. So you are doing what these days?
So I'm the operations manager of the Household Hazardous Materials Collection Center.
Okay.
Part of the North Central Iowa Regional Solid Waste Agency.
Excellent. Excellent. Boy, that's a mouthful still. I still haven't got that.
It is.
Yeah, I still haven't got it. But I want to thank you for bringing me a rain gauge.
Yes.
Man, this is just the best thing going. I'll tell you.
Could have used that this spring.
Could have used it this spring. Could have been, the radio station group all these years hasn't seen fit to buy a rain gauge.
We put it right outside your window.
Well, I don't want to do that. They can get their own. This is mine. So thank you for this, Jessica.
You're welcome.
All right. So what are you doing hanging out with Menke today? That's a little unusual.
Oh, I know.
Why are you?
No good excuses.
Yeah. Right.
Why are you two together? But for some reason, you're awfully muffled over there, Jessica. I don't know. Maybe you're gonna have to get your Yeah, well, I don't think it's you. I think it's that damn microphone, or maybe it's
Wanna
God
share?
knows. God knows
Want
what
to
it is.
share?
Most of
Scoot
this,
on over.
most of this equipment is about as old as Minky.
That's old.
That is
That is
really
old.
old.
That's
That
old.
is really old.
Well, I asked Jessica to come because you keep talking to Jason, and I thought maybe
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, but I thought you ought to hear from the voice of reason. She takes
That's
care.
Crying Brick.
No.
We got to think of another name for her.
I saw him in the parade. on
Why
Saturday.
isn't Jason a reasonable person to talk?
Jessica handles all the stuff.
You hear that, Jason? Minky's dissing you right on the air.
Still mad about those plastic bags.
No,
Anyway.
the plastic bag.
Yeah, well, Jessica takes care of all the stuff like old computers. Well, you can tie them.
Those
you know.
are recycling.
Oh, well, whatever. She takes care of a lot of stuff that Jason won't take. So,
Like, what do you do?
So we handle all the hazardous materials.
Hazardous materials,
Yep.
fireworks,
Well,
ammunition,
no.
Minky's stuff,
Yeah.
Minky's
Anything
hazardous
Carrie
material
comes up
stuff.
with. No, we handle your household cleaners,
Okay,
paints, used oil, antifreeze, any of your aerosol.
that's
test
hazardous
cans.
materials, really.
Yep.
Paint and stuff.
Yep. Household cleaners. Stuff
What
you
was
find
it?
in
What
your
did Jason
garage.
tell me last week? I have I don't know, 4 or 5 cans of paint in my basement that have been there for 4 years or something like that.
So we handle any type of paint, but there's a difference between oil-based and latex.
Right, right.
Latex paint is actually not hazardous, so you dry
Latex is not.
it- right. So you can dry it out, and once it's solidified, then it can just go to the landfill.
And what's the best way to do that? Jason made a
you can-
recommendation.
kitty litter?
Kitty litter.
Sawdust,
I don't have a
floor
cat, though.
dry, anything like that.
Floor
I mean,
dry,
otherwise,
something like that.
You can pop the lid open and let it dry. It just takes a little bit longer.
Sure, okay.
So, but
Just
yeah, then
dump
any
it
of
on your neighbor's sidewalk.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, that'll work. Ever been to my neighborhood?
Yeah, yeah. That's a dangerous.
That's a
place.
death penalty offense in my neighborhood.
Yeah, probably right.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely right.
But yeah, so we take all that stuff that we don't want to go to the landfill, but can't be recycled either. Pesticides, herbicides, pool chemicals, stains, varnishes, paint remover, paint thinners,
Okay.
all of the above.
What do you do with all that stuff?
So a lot of it we send out to be disposed of properly. A lot of
And
it
how do
gets-
they dispose of that property?
A lot
Properly, excuse me.
a lot of it gets incinerated.
Incinerated, really?
Some of it gets treated and then sent off to specialized landfills. They'll use some of it for fuel blending. The latex paint we get in, if you do bring it to our site, it's $1 per gallon. And then we dry it out ourselves and get rid of that then.
Well, I think Menke, when he goes, should be cremated. Can we just bring him out there and take his big old corpse out there and have you incinerate him?
Unfortunately, we don't have.
We'd give you
actual
$100. It's a lot cheaper than Gunderson's.
You're right.
That's probably true. Or Bruce's funeral home.
Or any of
historic funeral home.
the historic Bruce's funeral.
Jamie
Get it
Brundage,
straight.
she's in our club too.
Yes,
Jamie.
Oh, you're in Sertoma.
Yeah.
That's right, you
Yep.
are.
Yeah.
And you're Sergeant at Arms.
for right now.
So you get to go around and collect the money at the beginning of the meeting.
And tell a joke.
And tell a joke.
Yeah.
Normally a clean one.
Well, yeah, I try to keep it.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
She also helps quite a bit with the backpack program.
So you never knew Bob Boger, or you knew what funny was.
I mean, I've heard stories about the past.
He's a legend.
but-
A legend, absolutely a legend. Yeah, absolutely a legend. And yeah.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
On to the next subject.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you going to assume the presidency if Menke gets to decide this? I don't care what the rest of the group says. This is Menke's group.
He gets some
Menke's
decision.
Sertoma group. I think they should name it
No,
honestly.
I don't think so.
Well, starting July 1, I'll be the president-elect.
You'll be the
so-
president-elect, but only if
Yeah.
he says so, right?
Now, we've had a female president before, Lindy Kay.
Lindy Kay was,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, she was a number of years ago. So yeah,
We were an all-male group when I was in.
yeah.
I
Well,
think.
no, who was that? Janice Valentine. I mean,
Well,
no,
it
was it
changed
Janice or
while I was there. Janice
Peggy-
was there, and then a couple of
Peg Trevino showed
Peg
up.
Trevino was there, and a couple of salespeople over at the Messenger.
Yeah.
Female.
Paulette Harris.
Paulette Harris. Yes, I was looking for her
Yeah,
name.
I saw Paulette not too long ago.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her for years.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
At least 15 by now, I suppose. But I remember her being in Sertoma, And certainly I remember Janice being in
Yeah,
Sertoma.
we actually beat Rotary. Rotary brought in.
Yeah, but Janice bailed on us to go to
Yeah.
Rotary pretty fast, as
yeah,
I recall.
Yeah. Well, that's understandable, I guess.
That's right. Janice is way cool.
Yeah. But anyway, we had, I think we had female members in 85. I think was our first female member before Rotary did.
Was that
actually.
Peg?
Yeah, it was Peg. Yep.
Okay.
Peg Torino.
Yeah.
She's
That must have been just about the time I got there for the very first time, because I know there was a conversation about that within the group itself. And I think a couple of guys bailed on.
Yeah, they did.
Bailed on
we
us.
actually, we had La Sertoma, which was the female.
Right.
component.
That's
And-
right.
Yeah. And so La Sertoma, basically anybody of the female persuasion that wanted to be a member of Sertoma would join La Sertoma.
La Sertoma, right.
And then La Sertoma in 80, what year was that? Supreme Court made the ruling about, historically men's only clubs. and-
80-81, because I was
Yeah.
over at KKZ, and Mike Libby was still with us.
Yeah.
You remember Mayor Libby?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was very
He
big.
graduated from where? Michigan?
Yeah, Michigan with honors, I believe. But he was big in the JCs, and of course
Right.
they had the JCettes. And Libby, actually, who was a huge liberal, or he thought he was pushing back on the idea of allowing women into the JCs because that would destroy the JCettes.
No.
I thought so. I felt the same way about La Sertoma too.
Yeah.
But
Well, we blended real well. I think over the years, a lot of the members, female type members have stepped up and have assumed leadership roles and have been a great asset to our club. So
what year were you born? Huh? What year were you born? Really, seriously?
87.
80. Wow, this was all
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
way
yeah.
before your time. I thought we were probably talking ancient history to her.
no. She was probably in diapers about the same time you first started wearing them.
No,
No?
I'm wearing them now,
Huh?
and you're getting ready. A nice Velcro type. I know you.
Yeah.
I know you get that silly little grin on your face over there.
But,
All right,
Well-
now on to higher things.
Yeah.
Let's elevate the conversation, shall we?
Great.
Okay, you just can't wait to say something, so say it.
No, I was just going to say
you are in your pose. I know
you have
will
to you have to have an appointment to see Jessica.
Yes.
Yes.
We are by appointment.
Oh, you're by appointment. Is this a part time job? I was going to get to how you were paid.
Nope. I'm full time.
You're a full-time staff member?
Salaried employees. Yeah.
Okay, so you, if somebody wants to bring varnish and paint and these other things,
Yep. They just need to give me a call. We're open to the public Tuesdays through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's pretty simple. You can give us a call the morning of. You want to bring something out. We're not booked out weeks in advance or anything.
Jessica, this is kind of a cool job. Open 4 days a week by appointment only. I mean, are you getting hypers too? I mean, you got it
I
locked
do
up,
get
baby.
hypers, too, but technically, I'm usually working about 45 hours a week.
Are you
so-
really? I thought you really had one of those good county jobs.
No, that's just when we're open to the public. But no, my employees and I, we work 40.
We had a great Sertoma member by the name of Gary Tucker who worked for the city.
Mm-hmm,
I should say he was with the city
mm-hmm,
because Sertoma members would almost stalk him to catch him
right.
sitting in his pickup truck while he was on
Leaning
the job.
against the shovel.
Leaning, well, not even leaning against he was standing next to the guys who were leaning on
Oh,
the shovel. And
It's called supervising.
that's what it was. That's Tucker was the supervisor.
His name actually still shows up on the parking report each month.
Does it really?
Yeah, they haven't deleted him.
He's still there.
he's still there.
Our
He
government
hasn't,
in action.
he hasn't
ladies and
written any
gentlemen.
tickets yet. So
He hasn't
it's
written
been
any,
it's
not
been a while.
lately.
No, not
How long's
lately.
Gary been gone? A year?
Well, it's been longer than that, I think. About
2
a year and
years
a half.
already?
Yeah. I bought my house from Gary Tucker when I first moved here.
You
in the
said
early
that
80s.
he was a real estate
yeah,
agent. Yeah.
with Kesterson at the time.
Oh, he was with Jimmy Kesterson?
Yeah. So yeah, it's a long.
It was
time.
going so well, he joined the city, huh?
Yep. I actually went to Mirror Engineering after that. He worked with Eldon Rosso for a long time. He was
Eldon Rosso!
He was a surveyor with Mirror Engineering, and then
Oh, really?
Then he moved into the engineering department at the city. Worked with the city in the engineering department. I believe retired out of that, and then took the parking job just for something to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
He used when he was running up and down Central Avenue, every time he saw me, he came over to the curb and talked.
every time he saw me, he wrote a ticket.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought, Jessica has been very active in our community, and I thought it would be important since you're on this recycling kick, if you would,
I am.
bring her along and kind of explain her role, because I think there's some confusion in the recycling industry as far as what you can do and what you can't do, especially with paint products. That's I think was really a lifesaver for a lot of people. to get rid of cans of paint that they've got underneath the steps, and they're obviously very volatile. And Jessica has been. Were you the first director of the household? Did you come in? Was somebody there before you, or was that a new facility?
No, it was a brand new facility.
Brand new
when I came
facility,
in.
yeah.
We've been open just 3 years now.
And
It's pretty fairly new.
don't you occasionally mix paint together too and offer that as a alternative
Yep. So everything that comes in
Alternative what?
for painters, for your
Yeah,
rental property or something?
reuse. It's kind of our way of trying to recycle the products. So we will get a lot of paint that comes in that's still good, still usable. I mean, we'll get gallons in of new paint that somebody's used 2 swipes of a brush with. So we put it into our swap shop, which is open the same hours, Tuesdays to Fridays, 8 to 2. And people can come in and take that paint and use it, and it's free of charge. So
Really? It can
Yep.
be reused like that?
Yep.
Wow.
and we put a few other things in there too that still comes in. We'll get new stuff, different cleaners, get a lot of paints and stains in there though. And people come in if they've got just a little project that needs to be done.
Okay.
So that's worked out pretty good for
Well,
us.
I bet it has.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's the weirdest thing you've ever found?
Boy.
Keep it clean.
I know, right?
What, you're playing disc jerky now there?
Yeah.
Terry?
Well, I'm trying to step up your job.
The
The conversation was lagging a little bit, so I decided to jump in. What always?
You elevated it right away.
Yeah. We haven't gotten anything too crazy in. We did get in some, well, on 2 different occasions, some pretty large amounts of mercury.
Whoa.
Just straight up mercury.
What
in
was
the
that?
jar. I think one time was like 8 pounds, and the other time I think was 13 pounds.
That's a lot of
Which-
thermometers.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's just a jar of mercury, that's a lot of mercury. So that was kind of interesting. But we get just lots of paint, lots of household cleaners. People clean out their garages and trying to get rid of stuff. We also handle universal waste as well. So batteries, light bulbs,
Sure.
old thermostats and such. So.
Boxes of old pink frames that some person may have wanted out of their office.
No.
I don't
No.
think we can take that.
Some people are, just dump stuff on
Yeah.
you. You know that.
Just make sure you don't take your paint out there in a plastic bag because they'll yell at you.
We don't yell at
You,
people.
you don't yell at people. No, but
Apparently, the whole world yells at Terry.
Yeah.
Everybody, groups of people following him around yelling.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
been proven time and time again.
I do want to talk to you. No offense, Jessica, but I do want to talk to you about the sculpture.
Yes.
How did this come about again? Furyk gave
Gave a
little-
glossing over.
Well,
Well,
I wouldn't say
I can
that
tell you,
necessarily.
Probably 4 or 5 years ago, I was asked about the building at kitty corner from City Hall, and the owner of the building was interested in selling it, and we hadn't had
And
anybody
who is
back.
the owner, Mr.
Was
Terry?
Matt Doyle. Matt was
Matt.
and with the partner. It's Angie Doyle's. Angie's the district judge, and Matt had a partner in the building. I don't know who the partner was,
Mhm.
and we couldn't come to an agreement on
Oh,
cost.
Matt.
Yeah.
I knew him when he was a little boy. He lived in our neighborhood.
He's not so little anymore.
I know he is. It was
Okay.
30 years ago at least.
I think he was from South Carolina or something, somewhere.
He
out
lives
east.
in South
Well,
Carolina.
he did, and then he came back here when he got
Okay.
married to Angie. But anyway,
Yeah, Matt and Thomas, I think.
yeah. So anyway, this the sculpture idea came up as a result of some discussions with the 150th anniversary of Fort Dodge, of the chartering of Fort Dodge, and they wanted to do a commemorative statue. And the initial placement was discussed at being down on the square, down by the library, where there's a statue, I believe, of Mr. Duncombe down there. Is that correct? One of our former founders, and that statue is in quite bad shape and needs to be restored. And
I think that's Mr. Williams.
no, this was Duncombe. I think it's on the square.
On
And
the
Williams,
city square?
Williams is one of the founders, or is the founder of Fort Dodge. But this was Duncombe, who was, I believe, is an attorney. And the school's named after him. Something. I don't know a lot of that history, but so anyway, the discussion came up. I had been working on the public arts organization, the coalition, the Public Art Coalition. We were responsible for the silo art, and everybody remembers how well that went. And I was brought on that.
So you thought you'd push your luck.
So I was brought on that committee, and I heard that they were looking at the sculpture, and I made the suggestion to David that we look at placing it across the street from the city hall in an area of future redevelopment. And I figured with the Warden Plaza, the hopefully a intermodal transportation hub and the rec center in that downtown area, this would be a good focusing point on the crosstown connector.
Now,
And,
where is the statue going to be again?
it's
Or
going to
the,
be
excuse me,
basically
sculpture?
kitty corner. It's on between 9th and 10th on First Avenue South. It will be where historic Bruce's funeral home is. It will be just west of that in the front part of that lot.
All right.
And so that building, I believe we will probably see demo documents coming through very quickly. We bought that building about a month and a half ago. And I can honestly
That
say,
old garage there?
yeah, the old garage, the old Rankin Motors garage.
Mhm.
I can honestly tell you this is the fastest I've ever seen a city project move. I actually think this will be something that will be completed before we're dead, which most of the projects we're working
Which
on.
is, we're going to be dead before that intermodal hub hits, I'll
Well,
tell you that.
We'll find out actually in June. We're supposed to be getting the information back on that. So
What month is it now,
it's
Doctor?
June, so
That's
we
right.
should be finding out quickly.
Yeah, well, we'll be dead, trust
No,
me.
I think, the rec center, maybe the warden, maybe probably, but anyway,
What are we going to get done then? That's it.
yeah. So anyway, the intention is to knock the building down very quickly, and then we'll develop a plaza over there with the structure being placed somewhere on that north part of that land. A small portion of it, the thing is about 15 feet tall and about 10 foot around. I assume they're going to have some kind of seating, a walkway around it. So it's going to take up a relatively small portion of that space. But it will be lit, and it will be a public plaza, so it'll be an area to get there. The committee, which I am not part of, Lydia and David Flattery are on that committee, as well as Denny Plotz, Eric Anderson, Scott Johnson's on there, and Shelley Butterf,
Mm. Shelley Butterf.
who I saw yesterday at Too Late. But
We
we'll
love
talk about
Shelley
it. Yeah,
and her sister Susan.
a lot of energy. And I can't remember who else is on that committee, but they made the decision. I remember they had several different concepts they were looking at, and they came up with this plan, which has been in the paper, which is not it's different.
Mhm.
And I think Eric kind of spearheaded this Dan Perry, who is doing the work, is an acquaintance of Eric's, and so Eric reached out to him for some different
Eric
conceptual.
who now?
Anderson from the Blandon.
All right.
So this came through the committee, and then it basically they reached out to the Deerdorf Foundation, who agreed to fund the art sculpture. $70,000 is the price agreed upon. It's stainless steel. It's going to be painted.
Did you notice as soon as it was announced, several people jumped on social media to
Oh,
complain
really?
that their tax money was
Yeah,
going to be
and it
spent on the sculpture?
there will be some tax dollars expended.
I keep looking at these people saying, "You ain't got $70,000.
Yeah.
Period.
And,
Don't give me
and
this."
we've got to, just look at that. They say $70,000 fix our streets. Well, we're working on 3 streets in the south part of town. Public hearing was, I believe, last meeting or the meeting before last, because we had a special meeting. 3 blocks of the south part of town is $1.3 million is the engineer's estimate. So $70,000 is a mobilization fee in order to get the equipment there. So $70,000 is not going to fix a street. I mean, it's a good start, but it's not.
But
enough.
isn't the Deerdorf Foundation doing this anyway?
Deerdorf is donating $70,000 for the sculpture. Yes. So it's going to be a pass-through money. It came to the city. They did not want to commission the artwork themselves for some reason. So they asked the city to commission it. And that's what we did on Monday night during our special meeting, was to, just basically approve the fact that Deerdorf was going to pay for it, and just facilitated the payment to the artist that way.
Okay.
I remember when I was growing up in the early 70s, somebody, Thomas Fawick, I think Fawick, who's a industrialist, multimillionaire, donated the statue of David to Sioux Falls. And
The
David,
statue of David.
yes, it's an exact.
That's a nude,
It's
right?
an exact replica.
with full genitalia
only
representation.
yeah,
there?
the only thing he's wearing is a smile. That's the way they describe it.
It really wasn't a smile.
No, it was kind of a smirk.
Kind of more like a
Yeah,
smirk.
but
Like,
this
like, I'm naked.
Yeah, this guy donated. It's 18 foot tall, and like I said, he's in full bloom, and It was placed on between 10th Street and 11th Street in Sioux Falls on the major intersection heading basically east and west. And so there was a lot of controversy about that. Which way should he face? Which way should he be pointing? Actually, they took it down a few years later to renovate because they had some additional construction there, and they put it in storage for a couple years. And when they brought them out of storage, the same debate started all over again. Well, it's public art. This guy donated it to him, and as well as I do, people enjoy public art. They don't.
Most people do.
They don't always agree with it. It's always controversial. I always said anything that gets people talking and interacting is a great thing. I think it kind of got out of hand though this weekend. I think the conversation was misdirected. Even when the answer was given, a lot of people didn't like the answer they got, so they just kept blasting it.
That's right.
We've worked on it. I checked, last
There's
week.
a lot of unhappy people out there.
Well, there is. I mean, we're spending, I think this last year and in this last fiscal year, we spent almost $6 million on street repairs in Fort Dodge. We've never done that before. We've spent a lot of money, a lot of infrastructure work, a lot of road work. We're working real hard. Our lost revenue is pretty well stagnant at the present time as retail growth continues in the community and as people spend more money instead of shopping on Amazon, if they actually go and, actually buy stuff, if you can find a store to buy it in. But the money stays in town, and we've had very good luck with our money and leveraging it. We've got plans, long-term plans. All the streets have been identified. We know what streets are bad, and we know what our plans are. And in order to fix another street, like when Williams Drive collapsed last year, we had actually bonded for another $1 million that we put in the GEO bond, which is the first time that had been done for a long time. And that took $500,000 of our $1 million that we'd set aside for street repair. So, it's very expensive. And if we obligate ourselves, say if we're going to bond and use the lost revenue to fund that, then you lose that ability to shuffle funds in an emergency case, because like 2nd Avenue North fell apart a couple years ago and we had to spend a couple $1 million to fix that. So, I mean, we have planned construction needs, and unfortunately the roads are falling apart, and we're very well aware of that. If we had $30-40 million, we could probably fix every road in town, but we don't have $30 or $40 million, and we don't have a contractor that could do that much work. So
Terry's a bitter man. Have you noticed that, Jessica? But are you finished now? Because we're 6 minutes past news
I know.
time.
But the news guy took a hard time to begin with. We're getting even with him.
All right. We'll be back.
Michael Devine at AM 1400.
In the name of justice and the American way of life.
With 60 rounds of freedom.
60 rounds of freedom is right. 2:37. The news is next.
Ooh, I love that house.
Yeah, but look whose sign is in the yard. That's not who we're working with.
We don't have to work with them just because they have it listed. Our agent at Neighborhood Realty can show us the house.
They can?
Well, sure. They can show us any house we like, no matter whose sign is in the yard.
Well, then let's call Neighborhood Realty for a tour.
I'm Sasha Fisher with Neighborhood Realty. We can put you in the home of your dreams, no matter who it's listed with. Neighborhood Realty, online at neighborhood-realty.net.
Attention to this important announcement. If you have ever taken prescriptions like Adderall and are concerned about the side effects and high cost, now there's a new all-natural smart pill available that's the closest thing to a safe, real-life, limitless pill. It's so powerful and effective that students, athletes, and execs all want to get their hands on it. It's called Limitless, a Coastline product, and it's truly remarkable. It can help skyrocket your concentration, improve your creative thinking, enhance your memory, and make you feel like a better version of yourself. Call and find out how to get a free bottle of Limitless and experience this firsthand. It's not a question of whether this powerful pill works, but how great it can make you feel. Take it and watch it go to work. Limitless may be the best kept secret available today.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-4757. That's 800-605-4757. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now, 800-605-4757, 800-605-4757.
Iowa hog farmers have a lot to be proud of.
Proud of the quality products we put on tables around the world.
Proud of the strides we make to protect Iowa's natural resources.
Proud of the number of Iowans we're able to employ in safe workplaces.
Proud to protect and promote animal well-being in everything we do.
Iowa pork producers are proud because they do it right. And that's something all Iowans can take pride in.
Sponsored by Iowa's pork producers and their pork checkoff.
Iowa's pork producers work hard daily to produce safe, affordable food. Through the industry's We Care initiative, hog farmers are firmly committed to doing things right. That means keeping their pigs safe and healthy, safeguarding natural resources, protecting public health, and building strong communities. Producers fully understand the importance of pork quality, responsible production, and continuous improvement. It's the moral and ethical thing to do. Sponsored by Iowa's pork producers and their pork checkoff.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon. Here's a look at local news from the newsroom. I'm Bob Fisher reporting. The owner of the Memorial Park Cemetery has given the Iowa Insurance Division the consent to allow the city of Fort Dodge to maintain the cemetery while the Iowa Insurance Division pursues receivership of the property. Alan Dorothy recently informed city officials that he was out of business and was no longer taking care of the cemetery, with the city receiving multiple complaints in the last few weeks about overgrown grass. Fort Dodge City Manager David Fierick says Dorothy has stated in writing that he'll not protest the receivership process and will allow the city to maintain it in the interim.
So he signed this consent form that not only allows that he won't contest the receivership, but he will also allow the city of Fort Dodge to go on and maintain the property until such time it is in receivership. So specifically talking, it is not in receivership now, so it is not in control of the Iowa Insurance Division. However, he's basically has granted the city the ability to go on and mow it.
And Fierick says the city is seeking a request for proposals to maintain the cemetery property.
Soliciting proposals for mowing from private parties, entities, anyone who's interested. I hope the guys that volunteered to do it last week would be interested in continuing to do it and getting paid to do it. So our plan as of now is to seek proposals from entities, businesses, lawn care businesses who would want to accept this. The very difficult thing is early June is when the grass grows the fastest in Fort Dodge, and it's 24 acres of grass. So it's a big project. In fact, even for the city, we're looking at contracting out because we don't have the staffing and resources to take over 24 acres of cemetery and try to do it justice. So we're seeing what is out there as far as a private entity that is willing to do it and mow it.
Bids are due into the city by next Monday. You can see the details of the request for proposals to maintain the cemetery by heading to fortdodgeiowa.org. Webster City's police department is asking for the help in finding a person wanted for numerous felonies. 35-year-old Jeffrey Johnson is wanted for attempted murder, secondary kidnapping, as well as domestic abuse assault after an incident that happened in Webster City. Johnson is 6'4" and weighs 175 pounds. You can find photos of the suspect on the Webster City Police Department's Facebook page. Anybody with information on Johnson's whereabouts is asked to contact the police department at 515-832-9166. Reward is being offered for his arrest. Information can also be sent to the Hamilton County Crime Stoppers by calling their tip line at 515-832-8437. You can go to p3tips.com and follow the on-screen instructions for submitting a tip, or you can go download the P3 app to your smartphone. An organization that represents the state's construction industry has established a new $5 million endowment to award yearly grants to schools, businesses, and charities for programs that promote jobs in the construction trades. Jack Kleppe is president and CEO of the Master Builders of Iowa. Says about 75,000 people are working on construction projects in Iowa today, but the demand is growing for more skilled workers.
Our concern is that if we're not being more proactive from an industry perspective, the matters are only going to get worse.
His organization is now accepting applications online for the grants, which will be awarded in December. The money is not for scholarships, but for projects or programs that promote construction